The series is about Zhu Xiaowen, a freshman who needs money. He has to pay hospital bills for his mother's treatment. One day, his friend tells him to put on a peculiar ring. However, after he puts on the ring, a terrifying devil leaps from his mouth and kills everyone around him. Just then, a man comes out of nowhere, appears, and saves him. Finally, Xiaowen manages to escape with a beautiful lady who is a journalist. Since the incident, his life changed and he experienced many problems he had to face. The scene opens by showing a man named Bai Lu who is telling the history of the success of the Zhou dynasty, which overthrew the power of the Shang dynasty. After that, Bai Lu shows the student a picture of a statue found by archaeologists at the Mui quarry. It turns out the statue is the statue of King Zhou from the Shang dynasty. A student wonders why the statue is wearing a ring. Bai Lu explains the researchers tried to examine the ring, and they concluded the ring was very important for Dixon. After that, a student questions about the bronze statue's whereabouts. Bai Lu explains its current existence is still unknown. On the other hand, the scene shows our main character, Zhu Xiaowen, who is sleeping soundly in class. Sitting next to him, a fat guy, Xiaowen's classmate named Liu Fugui, invites Xiaowen to examine an ancient treasure he found. Xiaowen declines because he has to work. However, Liu Fugui offers some payment if he wants to join, causing Xiaowen to feel tempted. The scene switches and Xiaowen visits his mother in the hospital. His father disappeared 5 years ago when he dug up in Mui Mountain. Just then, a nurse comes and asks Xiaowen to talk in private. The nurse tells Xiaowen to pay the hospital bills as his mother's illness needs to be treated immediately or her condition will get worse. Xiaowen looks confused because he doesn't have money for the bills. At last, he cannot help but have to accept his friend's offer. Long story short, Xiaowen is already at the place where Liu Fugui asked him. It turns out he has brought several men, each of whom is holding a weapon, and a woman who is recording using her cell phone. Liu Fugui gives Xiaowen an ancient ring and tells him to put it on. After having a look at it, Xiaowen notices the ring is from Shang dynasty. Learning that, Xiaowen changes his mind and states he won't do it. However, Liu Fugui states that he will pay for his mother's treatment if he puts the ring on. The lady standing near them protests that her hands are getting tired. Afterward, Xiaowen nervously starts to put the ring on his finger. However, nothing happened to Xiaowen, making Liu Fugui get angry. He gets mad that he got cheated again. The woman who has been recording all this time is upset with the result. Afterward, Xiaowen asks Liu Fugui if he will pay the hospital bill. Liu Fugui replies that a man will keep his word. Just then, Xiaowen feels his body ache as if something wants to come out of his body. Then, as the fat guy approaches him, a monster leaps out from his body and bites the fat guy's arm until it breaks off. The monster transforms into a bloody figure and starts to attack everyone. Fortunately, a man comes and saves Xiaowen from the monster. He tells Xiaowen and the girl to run away. Xiaowen and the girl arrive at a restaurant. Xiaowen looks gloomy, thinking of his friend's condition. He thinks that the fat guy must have died in the incident. He begins to think about his mother's hospital bills, which he needs to pay, and how he can get the money. Just then, the girl invites Xiaowen to a hotel. They then go to the hotel and Xiaowen thinks that he may spend the night with the girl. However, he is shocked to see the price of the hotel, which is very expensive. The girl pays for the room and they immediately head to their room. As they are already in the room, the girl introduces herself as Jiang Xuanyan, a journalist. It turns out she brought him to the hotel so that she could examine the ring better. She then checks the ring using the magnifying glass. She concludes that the ring is attached to Xiaowen's skin. Not satisfied with the result, she tells Xiaowen to take off his shirt because she thinks something has changed with his body. Xiaowen refuses the order but is knocked out by the girl. After she examines his body, Jiang intends to take a picture for documentation purposes. However, she notices that her phone is left at the scene. She then quickly sets off to pick up her phone. Meanwhile, in his subconsciousness, Xiaowen encounters the monster and he runs in fear. However, the monster suddenly appears before him, much to his surprise, and he wakes up after that. Not long after that, several police officers enter the room and arrest him for the alleged murder he committed. Xiaowen explains it was not him, but a monster that suddenly appeared at the scene. However, the police don't believe this statement and they think Xiaowen gives a false statement and tries to run away from the case. Xiaowen states he has a witness, a journalist named Jiang. He explains that he was with Jiang when the incident occurred. Learning that, the police officers bring Xiaowen to Jiang's place. Xiaowen is stunned as he arrives at the place and finds Jiang dead. Therefore, because the witness is already dead, Xiaowen will be the main suspect and he will be taken to the police office. After that, Xiaowen is immediately put in the car that will take him to the police station. As he gets in the car, Xiaowen enters his subconscious state and meets the monster. The monster offers Xiaowen to give his body and he will kill everyone who hurts him and will free him from the accusation. However, Xiaowen decides that he won't give up his body because he doesn't want to kill everyone. The police officers, Mike Xiaoqian and Auding Shen, hear Xiaowen screaming, and they get to check what happened. They are heading to the police station, but their car suddenly is hit by another car. It turns out to be a criminal gang, and they arrest Xiaowen and the two officers. Later, it is revealed that the masked criminals are sent by Liu Fubi. Xiaowen is shocked to see Fugai is alive and his arm has returned to normal. Liu Fugi then explains he didn't die but fainted. Moreover, he explains that he got his arm transplanted. After that, Liu Fubi states he has an idea to clear Xiaowen's name and he is free from the accusation. He suggests that Xiaowen find the journalist's phone because the massacre was recorded on the phone. The scene switches to the mortuary. There, a fake doctor sent by Liu Fugli is trying to steal Zhang's phone. However, as he is about to take the phone, he is attracted to Zhang's beauty and he intends to play with her dead body. Unexpectedly, when he is on top of her, Zhang suddenly wakes up and she comes to life again and her wounds slowly disappear. Seeing what happened to Zhang, the man panics and he tries to escape. However, the door is locked and he is unable to run away from there. As he turns his head, he cannot see Zhang anywhere and he tells Liu Fubi about what happened. Surprisingly, Zhang suddenly appears and kills the man. Meanwhile, Liu Fugai, who is informed about Zhang's situation, thinks that she is not an ordinary human. After that, someone is informed that Zhang ran away using the fake doctor's car. Thus, Liu Fubi tells his men to steal Zhang's phone. Seeing that Fugai is obsessed with Zhang's phone, Xiaowen asks him if there is a secret in the phone that no one cannot see. However, Liu Fubi changes the topic and tells Xiaowen to get the phone and hand over the ring on his finger, and he will pay all the hospital bills. The scene switches to a group of troops who are seen looking for something in a dark room. It turns out they are tasked with looking for Zhang's whereabouts. Not long after that, a group of zombies appear and immediately attack them. The men immediately shoot at the zombies, but they are outnumbered by the zombies. One of them then picks up a bomb and explodes it. He commits a bomb suicide in the hope the zombies will die together with them. On the other hand, the masked criminal gang asks the men if they have found Zhang, who is hiding in the house. The soldiers explain that men have entered the house. Just then, an explosion is heard from inside the house. The soldiers realize that their friends are in danger. They are not aware that their friends already died. The masked men quickly enter the house with Xiaowen and the two police officers. As they arrive inside, Shen tells the criminal gang to take off their handcuffs. They arrive at a place that seems like a laboratory to combine the body parts of animals. Then after they look around the laboratory, they find a way to go deeper. But when they get in there, it turns out that a professor named Old Wang is watching Xiaowen and the others from the security camera. The professor presses a button which makes Xiaowen and the others fall and sends them to a dark room. They walk while using the flashlight from their weapon, but suddenly an arrow flies towards them. Xiaowen immediately jumps towards Meg to save her. Xiaowen then notices that the trap is activated if it detects lights. Hearing that, their leader throws a bomb and destroys all traps and security cameras. After that, Xiaowen and the others go on to walk until they see someone watching them. They quickly run after him, which leads them to a room in which there is an experiment on humans with animal heads. There, Mai spots a strange-looking painting. Shen looks at it, and he realizes the painting shows a human sacrifice. Not long after that, Shen finds a secret button on the wall. He pushes the button, and the wall suddenly opens. However, the animal-headed man suddenly goes berserk and attacks them. They immediately fire at him. Unfortunately, he can regenerate himself quickly. However, Xiaowen suddenly finds a button as he notices Zhang's lipstick fragrance. Xiaowen quickly presses the button, which is revealed to be an elevator. Xiaowen tells everyone to get into the elevator to escape from the animal-headed men. They arrive in a room where a girl is lying on the bed. The leader of the criminal gang tells Shen to check on the girl. Shen slowly approaches the girl and wakes her up. However, as the girl wakes up, Shen is flustered when her blanket suddenly falls off, revealing her body. Shen notices the girl is a movie queen named Liu Yuanyuan. Mei tries to calm Liu as she looks panicked. Then, as Liu cries, Xiaowen notices a mark on her neck. Xiaowen quickly tells everyone to stay away from her. Suddenly, a weapon is launched behind Liu and attacks Mai. However, Shen quickly sacrifices his life to save her. The attack hits Shen's chest, and on his last breath, Shen reveals his feelings for Mai. Moreover, he feels he won't die in vain because he has sacrificed his life for her. Xiaowen approaches Liu and asks her why she became a mutant. Liu explains that several percent of elite society has undergone surgery so that their bodies can become immortal and youthful, just like her. This immortality operation has apparently been hidden by the government and global elites, and only a few people know about it. The leader of the criminal gang shoots at Liu's head, but her body can regenerate quickly. Seeing that, he gets to unleash a barrage of fire at Liu, but it goes in vain as her body can regenerate quickly. Feeling that he has no other choice, he then throws a bomb at her, and they immediately run away from there. While on the run, Zhou and Mei encounter two masked criminal gang members who, without further ado, immediately shoot Mai in the leg. It turns out they aim to use Mei as bait, but Xiaowen states that he will not leave Mei alone. The two of them put a bomb near Xiaowen and Mei, which will explode when the two of them walk past the bomb. On the other hand, the professor locks Zhang up because he finds out that Zhu Yang betrayed him. As Zhang tries to escape, the professor presses a button, which immediately makes Zhang unconscious due to a high-voltage electric shock. The scene switches to Xiaowen, who's trying to stop the bleeding on Mei's leg by tying his t-shirt around Mei's leg. Xiaowen immediately gives Mei his jacket when he finds out she feels cold, but not long after that, they hear the sound of footsteps slowly approaching them. Xiaowen takes the initiative to approach the voice and tells Mei to wait there until he comes back. After walking for quite a long time, Xiaowen finally meets Liu. Without further ado, Liu immediately tries to attack Xiaowen, but her attack is stopped after Xiaowen says that he will give up his body if he can save Mei from that place. Hearing this, Liu feels surprised and thinks that Xiaowen is talking to him. She doesn't know that in fact Xiaowen is making a contract with the monster. Without Liu realizing it, the monster is already behind her and immediately hits Liu's head against the wall. Seeing Liu, who is slowly recovering, the monster immediately attacks Liu brutally and then ties her body with his strength. But it turns out that Liu secretly stuck her weapon right in the back of the monster's neck. The attack succeeds in releasing the monster's grip from her body. However, it turns out that the attack does not affect the monster. Then the monster easily breaks Liu's weapon. And when she wants to run away, the monster immediately confronts her and kills her brutally. On the other side, two masked criminals are seen resting. But when they are both relaxing, a rat suddenly approaches them. The annoying rat teases the two of them, making one of them angry, but neither of them succeeds in killing the rat. Unexpectedly, the rat immediately calls his friends and makes them helpless. However, it isn't just the mice that attack them. There is also a group of large mosquitoes that immediately attack them both. They escape, but the escape is in vain because the mosquitoes manage to suck his blood, which makes him die immediately. On the other hand, Mei is seen crawling with difficulty to find Xiaowen's whereabouts. When Mei finds Xiaowen, she immediately faints because she is exhausted. After that, the monster asks Xiaowen to hand over his entire body and says that if Xiaowen wants to do that, he will take Mei away from that place. In the end, because there is no other choice, Xiaowen hands over his body to the monster to save Mei. After that, the monster immediately starts the process of transferring Xiaowen's body to himself. In the middle of the process, the monster says that he will not save Mei because after the process of combining the bodies is complete, the monster will make Mei his dessert by eating her heart. The scene moves to Professor Old Wang, who is looking at the video of the first time Xiaowen wore the ring and then took the monster out of his body. After seeing the video, Professor Wang is a little scared because he finds out that Xiaowen has brought a dangerous monster. On the other hand, it can be seen that the merging of Xiaowen's body and the monster is almost complete, but suddenly the leader of a masked criminal gang arrives and immediately cuts off the monster's head. It is revealed that the leader is the person who saved Xiaowen when he first started wearing the ring. He is Wan Dao, who is an expert in using knives. After that, the fight between Wan and the monster cannot be avoided, but it is very clear that the fight is very unbalanced because the monster has an overwhelming and incredible strength. In the middle of their fight, the monster tells him about the sins he committed in his previous life. After hearing the monster's story, Xiaowen finally realizes that the monster is King Zhou of the Shang Kingdom. Xiaowen asks the monster why he came out of his mouth after he put on the ancient ring. The monster explains that he is a god and that whoever wears the ring will become an offering for his resurrection. After that, the monster locks Xiaowen up because he wants to try to fight him, but Wan, who sees the gap, immediately slashes the monster's left arm until it breaks off. However, this attack is useless because the monster has a super fast body regeneration. However, it turns out that Wan, who is an ordinary human, can dodge the monster's attacks. Wan can even attack the monster freely and has him cornered. Xiaowen, who watches the two of them fighting, looks impressed with Wan's ability to keep up with the monster. The scene switches to Zhang, who is already conscious after being electrocuted by the professor, but at this time Zhang's body has been tied to a table by the professor. It turns out that the professor is going to experiment on Zhang's body. However, when the professor wants to start the action, Zhang kicks the professor hard, causing him to suffer in pain. When he is feeling excruciating pain, the professor accidentally hits the cupboard, causing his experimental items to fall. It turns out to be a severed hand with above-average intelligence, and it immediately activates all the traps in the professor's laboratory. Annoyed that he is constantly being manipulated by his own hands, the professor becomes angry and accidentally presses the button which functions to destroy his laboratory. Knowing that the laboratory will be destroyed within 30 minutes, the professor quickly leaves the laboratory. The scene returns to the monster and Wan's battle. Wan seems overwhelmed due to exhaustion. As the monster is about to finish Wan, Xiaowen suddenly stops him. Surprisingly, Xiaowen manages to use the power like a monster. The two of them fight to eat each other's souls. Unexpectedly, Xiaowen manages to eat the monster's soul, which makes his body melt immediately and disappear instantly. After that, Xiaowen realizes that he can use the power when he feels threatened. Wan then tells Xiaowen to leave immediately. Suddenly, Jen appears from above and pins Xiaowen down. Seeing that, Wan immediately attacks her but is stopped by Xiaowen. Xiaowen convinces Wan that Jiang is not an evil person. Jiang then tells them that the building will be ruined in less than 30 minutes. After that, more puddles of water are seen in the laboratory and various types of experimental creatures are also seen starting to be free. On the other hand, Xiaowen, Wan, and Jiang are still in the laboratory because they are trapped by a bomb planted by masked criminals beforehand. At first, Wan intends to destroy the bomb using his knife, but Jiang forbids him because the tunnel will collapse. Jiang then walks over to the bomb and intends to detonate the bomb by sacrificing himself. But before that, Jiang takes off all her clothes and leaves them to Xiaowen, causing him to start thinking wildly. Not long after that, the bomb is successfully detonated, but with her strength. Jiang's body is not injured at all. Jiang then starts to put on her clothes and tells Xiaowen to keep the marks on her body a secret. Xiaowen asks what the mark is, but Jiang gets angry and says that he doesn't need to know what it is. Because the water has reached their room, they immediately rush to leave that place. On the way, they encounter a group of mosquitoes that previously killed masked criminals. Fortunately, Jiang knows the secret path and Wang manages to keep the mosquitoes at bay by using a wooden door. However, the three of them are now confused because they see two paths ahead. Jiang then decides that they will take the right one. Not long after that, they arrive at a dumping area. Jiang says they can get out of that place by climbing the stairs in the opposite direction. Leaving with no other choice, the three of them finally decide to swim to the other side. But while they are swimming, Xiaowen's body is suddenly pulled into the water. Fortunately, Jiang quickly saves him and takes him to the surface. After that, a fight between the three of them against a giant octopus occurs. Strangely, the octopus always targets Xiaowen until it is about to devour him alive, and Wan arrives with a flamethrower device. After that, the three of them go on to swim to the stairs. However, the octopus reappears and pulls Xiaowen into the water again. But when he wakes up, he is now in a room and the TV there is showing a broadcast about him who is currently a fugitive on suspicion of murder. Before he goes to see Wan, he goes to the hospital where his mother is treated. Arriving there, Xiaowen explains everything to his mother. Luckily, his mother trusts him and believes his story. However, three police officers suddenly come to arrest him. Xiaowen quickly escapes by jumping from the window. On the other hand, Professor Wang meets Bai. Later, it is revealed that the professor and Bai have been working together to experiment on creating strange creatures. Professor Wang then shows Bai someone he brought. It turns out it is Mai Xiaoqin, the mayor's daughter. Seeing this, Bai immediately becomes angry with Professor Wang because he brought the mayor's daughter. However, Professor Wang explains that he is forced to do that because Mei discovered the laboratory that they have been hiding all this time. Hearing that, Bai thinks it is reasonable, and he stops being mad at the professor. Bai gives the professor a pill, and he immediately takes it. After that, Bai tries to kill Mai by taking her heart, but suddenly, Jiang appears from the pool, much to the professor's surprise. Later, it is revealed that they team up to deceive the professor. The professor gets mad and transforms into a monster. A fight between the professor and Jiang happens, but by just removing his blindfold, Bai is able to catch the professor easily. Then Bai says that he will become the immortal king of zombies after he receives divinity, and after saying that, Bai immediately kills the professor. Meanwhile, when Xiaowen is running away, he is kidnapped by an unknown person using a car, which is later revealed to be a fat guy, Liu Fui. Seeing the figure of the fat guy in front of him, Xiaowen immediately tells him all he went through. After that, Liu Fui tells his men to grab Xiaowen and he tries to take off the ring. However, his attempt doesn't work as the ring seems to be stuck to Xiaowen's finger. Fui has a crazy idea to cut Xiaowen's finger, but before he can do that, Xiaowen mentions that he can remove the ring by going to a temple shown by Wan. In the end, Liu Fui gives Xiaowen one more chance, then he drops Xiaowen right in front of the closed shop and tells him to go to the temple alone. The next morning, Xiaowen departs to the place Wan told him. It turns out he was asked to go to a temple located in Wei Mountain. However, as he is trying to read the map, it is revealed that he can't read the map and he just walks along the path relying on his instinct. Just then, he hears screams from a girl asking for help because she is chased by a group of men. After seeing the girl, Xiaowen finds he knows the girl. She is Tart, his classmate. Later, it is revealed that the men chase her because they saw Tart steal a necklace in the mountain. Tart denies and comments that she has been wearing the necklace since she was little. However, the men still don't believe it because the necklace symbolizes Mount Wei, a place where they live. The men shoot at the round in front of Tart and demand that she give the necklace back. However, Tart insists that she doesn't want to give it up because it is the most valuable stuff for her. As the man is about to shoot her, Xiaowen appears and detains the man's weapon. Xiaowen tells Tart to run away immediately, but because she panics, she accidentally slips and falls into the ravine. Xiaowen quickly runs and jumps into the ravine to save her, but he then realizes that he won't be able to make it and that they will die. Suddenly, the power inside him revives and Tart and Xiaowen manage to survive the incident. However, they are currently trapped on the edge of the cliff. That night, Tart thanks Xiaowen for saving her. After their long chat, it is revealed that Tart likes everything about ancient China related to immortal cultivation. Afterward, Xiaowen tries to use his ancient ring power so that they can get down from there. Unfortunately, the power will not just appear, much to Tart's disappointment. She thinks that she will be trapped to death on the cliff. Not long after that, Tart notices many coffins hanging on the cliff. Tart, who knows something about ancient China, remembers that the ancient people there believed that if they died and were buried on the cliff, they would probably become gods. Later, Tart falls asleep while Xiaowen thinks about his father who disappeared in the mountains. Suddenly, he feels that he needs to pee. He then goes for a pee, but accidentally his urine hits one of the coffins hanging there. After that, a small creature appears in front of Xiaowen. At first, Xiaowen thinks that the figure is a ghost, but the little creature says that he is a small god named Mususi, and he is assigned by the supervisor of the Tiangsu temple to take Xiaowen to the temple. However, Tart is disappointed that she can't go with them to the temple because she is a girl. Mususi then suggests that Tart becomes his wife so that she can join him. Without a second thought, Tart accepts the offer. Afterward, they go on to walk to the temple, but Mususi tells Xiaowen and Tart to close their eyes because if they open their eyes, it will get into an illusory world. After agreeing to the condition, Mususi brings them to jump off the cliff. Suddenly, Xiaowen is in the cave and sees an old man and several men in front of him. However, Xiaowen is surprised to see the men devour the old man. Knowing it is just an illusion, Xiaowen tries to approach them, but is discovered by the men who notice his presence until finally he wakes up from his illusion after Tart wakes him up. Mususi scolds him because he opens his eyes. Then Xiaowen realizes he is in the place where the old man was devoured by the group of men. Mususi then explains the old man is Pangsu. He died because he was devoured by his children. Surprisingly, Wan is already there and he invites Xiaowen to soak in the hot springs. According to the rumors, people who bathe in the hot springs will lengthen their lives by 5 years because the water comes from Mount Wei. On the other hand, Tart is picked on by Mususi's disciples. They take her clothes while she's bathing. Knowing that Mususi scolds them and tells them to return it. However, Wan falls unconscious not long after that because he drinks too much liquor, and Xiaowen takes him back to his bed. After that, Xiaowen gets to see the Tiangsu palace secretly and eavesdrops on the small god's conversation. He says he wants to return to his human form, but he cannot find a way. However, their masters have returned to their human form. Just then, someone appears before the small gods, and as Xiaowen tries to escape, it turns out he has been found by a man who quickly grabs him. One of the Tiangsu Palace masters orders the other to kill Xiaowen, but is stopped immediately by another master as he sees the Tiangsu ancient ring on his finger. Mususi then comes and explains that Xiaowen is invited by the great master of the Tiangsu Palace. As they arrive inside the palace, they are treated to a feast. Not long after that, the master who is the leader of Tiangsu Palace comes. However, Xiaowen, who is already starving, enjoys the food by himself. It makes one of the masters angry as Xiaowen doesn't show his respect to the great master. Then a fight between Xiaowen and one of the masters begins. After a quite long fight, Xiaowen finally succeeds in defeating the master with the help of the ring. Afterward, the chairman stops Xiaowen from finishing off his opponent. However, due to the effect of the ring on his finger, Xiaowen tries to attack the chairman. Surprisingly, the chairman manages to stop him even without touching him. However, instead of getting angry at Xiaowen, the chairman compliments him for successfully using the power of the ring because previously several people used the power and their bodies immediately exploded as they couldn't withstand the power of the ring. Hearing the story, Xiaowen immediately asks the chairman to take off the ring. However, the chairman explains that if he takes off the ring, he will die right away. He then asks Xiaowen to stay there one more day because he will make an important announcement tomorrow. After the incident, the 5 masters think that their position is threatened by Xiaowen's arrival. They think that the chairman will hand over his position to Xiaowen tomorrow because he has a ring that possesses incredible power. Therefore, one of them suggests that they kill the chairman by poisoning his food. Meanwhile, Bai and Jiang are now in the Tiangsu temple area, while Xiaowen and Wan are enjoying their drink. Xiaowen feels surprised that he is an ordinary human, but his body is not destroyed after wearing the ring, even though several people are not strong enough to withstand the power of the ring. The scene returns to the chairman who enters his room. He feels like he sees something as he enters his room. Not long after that, a gunshot is heard that shocks Xiaowen and Wan. Later, everyone rushes to see what is happening. Xiaowen and Wan enter the chairman's room and find the chairman is killed by Tart. Elsewhere, 5 masters face off against a group of men. After hearing the news about the chairman's death, they get to return to the palace. However, after they leave, Jiang and Bai arrive in front of the Tiangsu palace. The scene returns to Tart, who explains that she killed the chairman to avenge Xiao Yaozi, her father's death. Her father was the disciple of Tiangsu Palace who was killed in that palace 5 years ago. Mususi confirms it, and he even shows the evidence left by the people killed 5 years ago. Hearing that, Xiaowen gets angry, thinking that his father was killed by Tiangsu Palace higher-ups. Xiaowen immediately goes berserk and transforms into a monster. Then one of the masters attacks Xiaowen. He laughs, seeing Xiaowen is burning in flame. However, Xiaowen turns out to be okay, even though his body is burned. Xiaowen looks very angry at the 5 masters because they killed his father. Xiaowen attacks the 5 masters one by one. They keep attacking Xiaowen continuously, but their attacks are in vain because Xiaowen is still able to stand, and even his strength becomes even greater. They then combine their attack and make a trapping array to tie him up with the God Seal. Initially, Xiaowen suffers from their attack, but not long after that, he manages to free himself from the trap, and the masters vomit blood afterward. Their leader refuses to give in, and he attacks Xiaowen with 4 four-pole attacks. The attack hits Xiaowen's body, and it creates a great explosion. They think they have defeated Xiaowen, but it turns out he manages to survive, although he was hit by the powerful attack. The masters are frightened to see that. Xiaowen stands up and is about to finish their leader. However, he suddenly faints as he can no longer hold the power. Seeing the chance, one of the masters intends to kill him, who is helpless. However, Wan suddenly comes to save Xiaowen. Unfortunately, he can be defeated easily by the masters. Mususi then steps in and asks the master to forgive his disciple, but he attacks Wan with his magic flame so that Mususi takes the hit, sacrificing his life to save him. On the other hand, Bai tells his men to attack the Tiangsu Palace people. Meanwhile, the leader is about to punish Mususi and the others. Before that, the leader tells the other masters to cut Xiaowen's finger off. As they are about to cut his finger, a blinding light suddenly comes out from the ring, causing the leader to change his mind. After that, because the Grandmaster died, the 5 masters agree to appoint one of the masters to be the leader of Tiangsu Palace. The leader then states he will make the disciples of Tiangsu Palace become humans again, even though it will consume the essence of other humans. The scene switches to Xiaowen, who is in his subconscious. There, he meets the monster, which tells him to take revenge on the gods who killed his father. Hearing that, Xiaowen's eyes turn into devil eyes. The first season of Jie Mo Ren ends here. Thank you to all who keep watching the content from this channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can keep you updated with our latest contents. See you in the next video.